Hello viewer, welcome to Everything But What. On this July 17, 1996, a plane called TWA-800 from John F. Kennedy Airport in New York is ready to fly to Rome, Italy. Rome is the destination of this plane, so it is not a plane that will go directly to Rome. It will be at an airport in between before it reaches Rome, which is the Paris airport in France. TWA-800 was manufactured in 1971, and it is operated by a company called Transworld Airlines. Its registered serial number is N93119. When you look at the year it was manufactured, you can see how many years it has been in the sky. When was this plane manufactured? It was manufactured in 1971. According to the year 1996, this plane has been in the sky for 24 years and 11 months. How many times has this plane been in the sky? It has been in the sky 16,869 times. The total number of hours it has been in the sky is 93,303. This plane is ready to take off from John F. Kennedy Airport. Just a few minutes before it took off, it left Athens Airport in Greece and landed in John F. Kennedy Airport. It is going to take off from here, but to change the crew members and to accommodate the passengers, it landed at John F. Kennedy Airport. The exact time this plane landed at John F. Kennedy Airport is at 4:38 p.m. at Terminal 5 in Gate 27. You may ask why this plane has come from Greece? There is a reason for us to say this. After this incident, a pilot from Greece landed at John F. Kennedy Airport. When they asked him the question, he told that he did not see any abnormalities in this plane. He said that something happened to this plane after it took off from here. That is why we are informing you that this plane has come from Greece. This plane is ready to go to Rome with the passengers. Before that, they have to fill the fuel in the plane's wings. As soon as they filled the fuel in the plane's wings, they left. When they left the fuel tank at the bottom of the plane. That is, the fuel tank at the bottom of the plane is not filled. There is a reason for them to leave the fuel tank at the bottom of the plane. The distance between John F. Kennedy Airport and Paris is very short. So they thought that the fuel in the wings is more than enough to fly. The fuel tank at the bottom of the plane is not filled. Is it that the fuel tank at the center of the plane is not fully filled? The fuel tank at the bottom of the plane is filled with 136 kilograms of fuel. When the fuel tank at the center of the plane is not filled, the passengers sit inside the plane and turn on the air conditioner. They turned on the air conditioner just now. When the passengers sit inside the plane and turn on the air conditioner, the crew members of the plane start exchanging with each other. The crew members of the plane who came from the Greece went out away. Crew members are now coming inside the plane to go to Paris. There are 4 pilots in this plane. The first pilot is a commanding pilot. He is 58 years old. His name is Ralph. Ralph is a very experienced pilot. We can't say that he is experienced only because of his age. According to his experience, he has been flying for 31 years. He has also served in the United States Air Force for 9 years. You can imagine how experienced Ralph is. The second pilot is 57 years old. We can see that he is a very experienced pilot. He also has experience of 32 years. His name is Stephen E. Cinder. The third pilot is a flight engineer. He is 63 years old. You can imagine how experienced he is. He has also served as an engineer for 30 years. He has also served in the United States Air Force for 12 years. The fourth pilot is a very young pilot. He is only 25 years old. He has only been flying for 4 years. He is an experienced business pilot. His name is Oliver. He has been in this plane for 5 times. When he goes in this flight, then it's his 6th time. 4 pilots and 10 crew members have boarded the plane. Now all of them are boarded right. 14 crew members and 212 passengers have boarded the plane. Half-filled plane is ready to fly. The plane is about to take off at 7 p.m. A small problem is created when the plane is about to take off. Even if the pilot decides to board the plane at 7 p.m., it is not possible to fly the plane at 7 p.m. The engine number 3 of the plane has a technical problem. There is a problem in the thrust reverser sensor of the engine number 3. The maintenance crew has identified the problem and is fixing it. They are also replacing the broken cables in the engine number 3. When the problem in the engine number 3 is fixed, another technical problem is created in the plane. The volumetric shut-off control in the fuel tank starts malfunctioning. When the fuel tank is full, there is a cut-off valve to notify it. That is the volumetric shut-off control. Once the fuel is filled in the fuel tank, the fuel is cut off immediately. The problem is created in this volumetric shut-off control. A big problem has been created here. The main function of this valve is to cut off the fuel tank when it is full. Since it was malfunctioning that day, it cut off the fuel tank when it was half full. They have identified that problem and are fixing it. The technical problem is being solved. When the crew decides to board the plane at this time, another problem is created in the plane. The passenger bag is mismatched. The passenger says that his bag didn't reach the plane. Someone has taken his bag. He shouts that he shouldn't take his bag until his bag reaches the plane. The crew members have to find his bag and bring it back. The technical and passenger problems have been solved. It is almost 8 o'clock to take off the plane. The plane is about to take off at 8 o'clock. Once the signal is received from the air traffic control, the plane starts flying at 8:19 o'clock in the runway 22R. The guidance for the TWA 800 plane, which started flying at 8 to 9 o'clock, is received from the air traffic control. They are guiding the plane, which was flying at 8,200 feet, to fly at 11,000 feet. The plane is flying at 11,000 feet. They are also giving guidance to increase the height to 13,000 feet. The plane is now flying at 13,000 feet. Once the plane reaches 13,000 feet, the guidance is received from the air traffic control. They are guiding the plane to increase the height to 15,000 feet. The TWA 800 plane starts increasing the height from 13,000 feet to 15,000 feet. When they start increasing the height to 15,000 feet, the pilot notices a small problem. The fuel tank indicator of engine number 4 is moving in a weird way. The fuel tank indicator is moving in a weird way. The pilot notices that the fuel tank indicator is moving in a weird way. He thinks that the maintenance crew has not adjusted the volumetric shut-off control system properly. That is why the fuel tank indicator is moving in a weird way. He ignores it. In the next 40 seconds, a loud noise is heard in the plane. In the next 5 seconds, the front part of the plane, the cockpit, and the first row of the main cabin start flying separately. The plane breaks into two parts. The front part and the back part start flying separately. The front part of the plane starts falling down as soon as it breaks. The back part of the plane starts flying upwards like the center of gravity. The plane starts flying upwards like the center of gravity. After a certain distance, the plane starts falling down. The back part of the plane starts falling down like the front part of the plane. At the same time, the pilot of Stinger B507 contacts the air traffic control. He informs the pilot that he heard a loud noise in the sky. The air traffic control cannot hear what he said. Sorry, we could not hear you. They AKED him to tell it again at 16,000 kilometers height. I heard a loud sound and light like bursting. He also informed that he saw the plane falling in the ocean at the time when he informed it. Another plane's pilot, the pilot of Virgin Atlantic 009, informs the pilot that he heard a loud noise in the sky which was 6 miles away from us and passed the information, saying that he couldn't verify what it was and asked them to verify it. When both the plane passed this information to Boston Air Traffic Control, Boston Air Traffic Control immediately contacted TWA 800, the plane that was flying in the sky, and said, "TWA 800, are you there? Please reply from your side." But no matter how much they tried to contact TWA 800 from the air traffic control side, there was no reply from the opposite side to Boston Air Traffic Control. So, since there was no reply from TWA 800, what Boston Air Traffic Control is doing is, when they first passed this information, that is, when the Stinger B507 airplane was there, they contacted the airplane's pilot again, and asked, "Can you tell us again about what you saw?" As soon as they asked, the pilot clearly said what happened. "When I was flying in the sky, I saw a plane flying about 5 miles away from me at about 11 o'clock position. I noticed a small light burning at the bottom of the plane. When I saw it initially, I thought it was a landing light. I mean, it was going to land, so they put a light on it. But as I kept thinking about it, the light kept increasing. In the next fraction of a second, the plane exploded and fell into the sea. He clearly told Boston Air Traffic Control about what he saw. So, as soon as they heard this news, everyone in Boston Air Traffic Control started getting nervous. They started doubting that the plane that exploded and fell into the sea might be TWA 800. But wished that shouldn't have happened. They contacted TWA 800 via contacting Boston Air Traffic Control. We expect a reply from your cell. TWA 800, TWA 800, they kept contacting. But no matter how long they contacted, they didn't get any reply from the opposite cell. So, they decided that the reply didn't come from the opposite cell. The plane that exploded and fell into the sky was TWA 800. As soon as they confirmed that, they checked the rescue team to see if anyone was alive in the accident. When they checked, they confirmed that all the passengers and crew members were dead. So, once they confirmed this, they started investigating if this accident was caused by a human or a technical problem. When they started investigating, they concluded that it was caused by the airline industry. Because there is no human fault in this plane accident, they found out that it was caused by a technical problem. That technical problem is not an ordinary problem. It is a very big problem. That problem happened in this plane just now. But if they had not noticed that problem now, they would have found out that the plane would have exploded in the maximum plane that was flying all over the world at that time. Because until then, where did they keep the air conditioning packs in the maximum plane? There is a central wing fuel tank at the bottom of the plane. They kept it under it. So, what problem would be created if they kept it like that? Heat would definitely be created from the air conditioning packs, right? Which is above the heat creation? There is a fuel tank, right? So, what happens if the fuel tank is heated? It will explode, right? So, that problem happened in TWA 800. At the beginning of this video, they said that this plane was supposed to leave at 7 o'clock. But it left at 8:30. But at 6 o'clock, the passengers got inside and turned on the AC. So, the AC was running for 2.5 hours before the plane left, right? So, that's why all the AC packs started heating up. Above the AC packs, there is a central wing fuel tank, right? There was only a little fuel in it, right? So, there was air fuel above the liquid fuel in the fuel tank. So, the temperature of the liquid fuel and the air fuel kept increasing due to the heat of the AC packs below. The temperature that increased was about 59.7 degrees Celsius. So, if there was a fuel tank at this temperature, a small fire would definitely start, right? So, where did that fire come from? Before this plane left, they said that there were a lot of cable wires problems, right? So, there was a short circuit in one of the cable wires and a spark was created. That spark caused the fuel tank to explode. The pilot saw this short circuit warning exactly 40 seconds before the plane exploded. As we have already said, the fourth pin of the fuel tank is moving sideways. The reason for the movement of that pin is this short circuit spark. So, after this incident, they came to a conclusion that no air conditioning backup should be placed under the fuel tank in any plane in this world. To make this flaw known to the outside world, it took almost 226 lives.